You want me to put that on my todger?
Harry's wife, Paltrow and Diaz did not happen. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. Well, as I explained in the immediate video, Harry's wife turned up at a sushi bar with ginger bollocks in tow. And the appearance that's given is that she was there hanging out with Cameron Diaz and Gwyneth Paltrow. But as I reported, the way that Hello described it really made it sound like the fact that Harry's wife just happened to be there when these other people did. Indeed, the pictures that I've shown you so far, which show a disinterested Cameron Diaz engrossed in something else and not even acknowledging Harry's wife, does indeed tend to support the fact that Harry's wife just happened to be there when they were. Nevertheless, her PR is putting it about that she, in effect, has had dinner with Gwyneth Paltrow and her husband, and with Cameron Diaz, with other individuals also, to make it seem like she's with the A-listers and they're all hanging out together. Well, in response to that, I hear this. Bullshit. 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 Yes, the bullshitometer went off. It went into overload as a consequence of being fed this story. Let's examine the evidence. First of all, the pictures. It tends to be the case that if you're going out for dinner with somebody, you acknowledge them and greet them. If Harry's wife was actually going out for dinner with Cameron Diaz, do you not think Cameron Diaz would have turned around and said hello to her, smiled, given the old air kiss, etc.? No photos exist of that, and we can rest assured that if the air kisses and the greeting actually happened, then of course it would have been photographed, because Harry's wife would have ensured that Backgrid, her go-to pappers, would have recorded the moment and it would have been splashed everywhere to make her look popular. Because remember, in her world, she believes that she's on the same level as these A-listers. She believes that she is a brilliant actress like them, that she's famous because of the talent that they have. Indeed, her appearance at the sushi bar to suggest that she was hanging out with Cameron Diaz, and also in relation to Gwyneth Paltrow, is character trait acquisition. She's acquiring their presence in a restaurant and passing it off as if she has been sat dining with them. There's no eye contact with Diaz. There's no acknowledgement for her. But witness Harry's wife as she strolls in, rictus grin on display, lapping up the thought fuel that she's being papped. Now, it would appear that, according to somebody called Caribbean Prince on Twitter, Cameron Diaz was asked to be there by Harry's wife's agency. So it wasn't a case that she picked up the phone and dialed Harry's wife's number and said, "Hello, Harry's wife, Cameron here. How'd you fancy popping out for a bit of sushi tonight? That'd be lovely. What time? Shall we say 6 o'clock? Love to. See you there." But no, that didn't happen. Why? Because Cameron Diaz has no interest in hanging around with a loser like Harry's wife. But her agency asked her to be there. And undoubtedly, Cameron Diaz then thought, well, I do fancy some sushi. What's the gig? I have to be there at 6, but I don't have to talk to her, do I? Okay, no problem. That's okay, as long as I don't have to listen to her coating me in beige fridge magnet platitudes, I'll turn up. So, to my mind, Cameron Diaz just happened to be there, and Harry's wife knew that, and I suspect that both Cameron Diaz and Gwyneth Paltrow dine there quite regularly. And Harry's wife knows this, either as a consequence of her agency telling her this, or she probably snoops around like the weirdo that she is, hanging out in the bushes outside with a notepad and some binoculars, going, making notes of the arrival and departure times of famous people so that she can then look to time her own arrival with theirs to make it look like she's hanging out with them. That suggestion of mine has some further force because on the St. Harry's Wife Reddit thread, somebody called Historian Girl wrote, "So I did some snooping. According to the restaurant website, there are 3 seatings for dinner, 5 p.m, 7:15 p.m, and 9:30 p.m. This means anyone who was having dinner there would arrive and leave at the same time. The photos don't prove they were having dinner together, just in the same restaurant." A.M. Reich adds to this by stating, "So it's a communal seating for a predetermined eating window. One price for all you can eat. They don't sit anyone who arrives late. You must make your reservations a month in advance, then arrive early, take a seat along the bar, and are then given whatever sushi bites you prefer. Afterwards, you have to leave so they can clear the space for the next group meal. People are not dining at private tables, having lingering private conversations. Harry and Harry's wife got the 5 p.m. time slot and left by 7 p.m. so the restaurant could prep for the next wave of reservations. They simply ate alongside anyone else having the 5 p.m. slot. It would appear that Cameron Diaz neither looked up nor acknowledged the Harkles. Basically, Harry's wife, stinking of the desperation that we know is so common with her, has arranged to turn up at a restaurant at the same time that Cameron Diaz dines there, and has arranged for the photo to be taken of her walking past Cameron Diaz, who doesn't acknowledge her, to suggest that they were dining at the same time and with one another. It wouldn't surprise me if there are actually some pictures somewhere which show Harry's wife walking past 3 or 4 times. No, Cameron wasn't there. We'll have to go back outside, Harry, until she's arrived. Right, let's try and walk in now. No, still not here. Come on, out we go again. Oh, no, but I was really looking forward to these bites here.
Harry, you've got to come with me or I'll taser those pink pods.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, my little pumpkin. Oh, I'm on my way now. And then eventually Cameron Diaz happens to be stood outside. So then Harry's wife can stroll by, rictus grin on face, knowing that she's been photographed, walking past Cameron Diaz. But in the deluded mind of the narcissist that is Harry's wife, she believes that everybody's going to be duped by this because she's such an idiot that she believes that people who think, oh, wow, gosh, she's so famous, so friendly, so loved, she's now hanging out with the A-list. She's with Cameron Diaz. Because, look, there's Cameron. That's Cameron stood outside. So Cameron must have then gone inside and air-kissed Harry's wife and discussed which sushi they're going to have and praised her and say, I love your bag. And then Harry goes, oh, thanks very much. Not you, you ginger idiot. And then they sat and maybe had a glass of water and talked about things between them. That's the image that she wants to cultivate. Part of the delusion as she seeks to assert control in that moment by triangulating the world, or that much of the world that's watching and paying attention, with Cameron Diaz. But Gwyneth Paltrow's been mentioned. But I haven't seen any pictures there, which also suggests to me that Gwyneth Paltrow wasn't even there. And Harry's wife's agency, at her behest, has pumped it out to suggest that Gwyneth Paltrow was joining her. Well, according to the Caribbean Prince on Twitter, Gwyneth Paltrow's agent denies that she was at the restaurant with Harry and Harry's wife. So that's either Paltrow just wasn't there at all, or she was, but she wasn't with Harry and Harry's wife. Either way, Harry's wife has attempted to misrepresent the position, as narcissists do, to suggest that she was actually there with Gwyneth Paltrow, that she was sat around the same table. Now, of course, we all know that Gwyneth Paltrow is a narcissist as well, but she's not going to want to be associated with the D-lister that is Harry's wife. That's an insult to her. And therefore, the suggestion that she would be dining with Harry's wife is actually a threat to her control. And it therefore would make sense that her agency on her behalf would issue a statement saying, no, she didn't dine with them, in order to nullify the threat of control caused by the association of Harry's wife being with Gwyneth Paltrow. Paltrow's no doubt shuddering, probably lighting a candle that smells of her vagina and shoving an egg up a foo-foo in order to try and exercise the unpleasant sensations that she's experiencing as a consequence of being associated with the Duchess of Bronzer. Accordingly, what we have here is an event that actually didn't happen. More accurately, Cameron Diaz happened to be at a sushi bar and Harry's wife walked past her. That's what happened. But Harry's wife has evidently paid, possibly, the agency to concoct this scenario by encouraging Cameron Diaz to be there, and certainly paying the paparazzi to make sure that they've appeared to record the moment as she walks past Cameron Diaz, who doesn't even acknowledge her. The most entertaining thing about all of this, of course, is that so many people know what Harry's wife is. So many people, even if they don't recognise that she's a narcissist, know that she's a cheat, a grifter, a con artist, a charlatan. And their immediate thought isn't, oh look, Harry's wife is having dinner with Gwyneth Paltrow and Cameron Diaz, but rather, this smells sus, I'm going to unpick it. And it isn't difficult. The pictures do it for you straight away. Another instance of Harry's wife seeking to assert control and once again demonstrating the mid-range nature of her behaviours, that it's utterly see-through, and hilariously so. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.